Hey everyone, happy Friday. You made it through another week, and hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving. Missed you all last week. And I know that many clients that I've talked to and friends, pretty much had a much smaller Thanksgiving experience celebration this year. And so hopefully yours was meaningful in whatever way that you chose to celebrate it. So one of the things that came up in the one of the articles today in the LA Times here is around burnout. Burnout. How many of you feel like a little bit of burnout, right, from this pandemic and all the changes, right? The racial injustice and the election, the politics, the political theater, the economy, right? There's just like a lot of things that are just weighing heavily on us and affecting us at work, right? And feeling that grind and that sense of burnout and maybe that sense of isolation as well, working from home. Or if you're not working, if you got laid off or furloughed or any of those things. So it's just has a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And one of the nice things is that there are strategies that you can take to better deal with burnout. Maybe not completely eliminate it, although in many cases you can refresh. So a lot of it has to do with just kind of the mindset. But this article has a number of strategies, so I thought I'd just start there and then maybe add on to that. And if any of you have strategies you use, which I'm sure you have been the last 8-9 months, please share. Please share it, post it. If you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, post it after this, either during or after this broadcast. And that would be great. Kind of share your favorite ways to manage the stress or burnout and whatnot. So the Mayo Clinic in this article is citing how, it's difficult to be consistently productive and how it can lead to things like even substance abuse and other things like that. And so I like this line. They say you can't yoga your way out of it. You can't yoga your way out of burnout. That can certainly help, right? Kind of the deep breathing and the stretching and all of that can certainly help, but not the only thing. And so they mentioned that the first step is to really just to acknowledge it, right? Just to take stock and acknowledge that you're feeling just the grind, that you're feeling burned out. And to give yourself some space just to sit with that, right? Rather than, try to, go, or just disregard it and, trying to tend to everybody else's needs and all that while neglecting your own. And so acknowledging that is a powerful first step. And if you're a leader, it's important to acknowledge that too. And so the article speaks to that, is if you're a leader, to acknowledge, to your team, like, look, I know things are tough, and you need to provide a sense of that with your people. Otherwise, they may just, it's going to be more stressful for them thinking you have these unrealistic expectations. So at least if you can acknowledge that, it is a demanding time, or awkward, or all the other emotions or feelings, then that can go a long way. Something else is around to reevaluate your goals. So personally, there's nothing like an epidemic to help you reconsider what's important to you and what's a priority for you. And so that can be a very grounding and liberating thing, particularly if you're able to let go of things that are no longer serving you. And some things you may just put on the back burner for now, and other things just let go of completely because your priorities perhaps have shifted, or you would like to shift them in a way that will better serve you, better serve your well-being, better serve your career, better serve your family, better serve your health, whatever it is. And if you're a leader, it's also important to do that as well for your team or your organization, because you may need to shift gears for your customers, right? You may need to, if people's plates are overloaded, you're going to need to take some stuff off their plates, right? Because otherwise, people are just going to, if they burn out, they're not going to be of any use to you, right? So what are the maybe the 2 or 3 key things for your team or for your organization that are really crucial to focus on right now and to execute on? And so if you can get your workforce zeroed in on that, then you're more likely to succeed. Whereas if everyone's just dancing all over the place, again, you're not likely to get the traction you need to really execute successfully on some of your priorities or strategies as an organization. And then, of course, that's going to affect your bottom line. And if you're a nonprofit, your impact, right, that you have, your mission. So those are some things there. The third tip that they bring up is flexibility. And so, for example, flexibility with scheduling, with work hours, right? So for yourself, if you are, maybe you're in business for yourself, like I am, as being flexible with your hours so that you can make things work for you and you can take time for yourself to do what you need to do. So for example, with me, one of the things that I do is I generally don't start my workday before 10 o'clock. And this is something new. Like pre-COVID, sometimes it'd start as early as 8 or 9, but now I don't start till 10. Why? Because I want to make sure that I get my meditation in and a run in or some type of exercise before then. And I tend to be more of a night owl, right? So that's another reason as well. So I'll work in the evenings, but so you got to be flexible. Think about what's going to work for you. What's going to work for you? And if you're a leader in an organization, you may be used to seeing people face to face, and now you can't. In many cases, the remote, but allow them to be flexible too. As you know, many of your employees may have kids that they need to homeschool and things of that nature. By now, 8 months in, if you haven't figured that out, that giving them some latitude there, flexibility, like it's not just 9 to 5 anymore. They might need to do like a couple hours on, a couple hours off, to help their kids get through the day, depending how young their kids are or whatever other demands. So, literally there's a blend and integration between our personal lives and our work lives for millions of people. And so holding on to the traditional 9 to 5 thinking just isn't effective in many cases. Now, some of you may have a retail business or work in retail, or maybe a service business that services other organizations there, and you have those hours. So obviously, you have to adjust it to your own business needs and whatnot. But the article is basically encouraging you to be flexible around that. And that's, focus more on the objectives, the work outcomes, versus how it gets done, versus when it gets done during the course of a day or whatnot. And, if it needs to be done by the end of the week, then, if someone takes off 2 days and then just does 12-hour days the next 3, that should be fine, as long as the work gets done to your expectations. And the last tip on here in this article is to provide support for yourself. So for you as an individual to really just take the time for yourself to do those things, whether it's exercise. Last week, hopefully many of you took some downtime during Thanksgiving week. I took the week off, mostly off. Last week I had no coaching sessions. I removed all of that, blocked off my calendar so that I could just, I ended up going to the beach about 3 times because I'm fortunate to live near one. Some of you might live near a park or if you're in the mountains or maybe you have a lake, whatever it may be near you. But for me, I like nature. I like the outdoors. So I went to the beach a few times, and not for all day, but just, even just a few hours. And it really can help rejuvenate and gave me time to just reflect on things, maybe even just nap, whatever it is. But just the essence of the ocean waves is very soothing, right? And so, and whatever it is for you to take that time, or maybe it's connecting with people that you haven't connected to in a while. So taking that time for yourself can really help restore you, particularly if you've been feeling burned out. And some other things too in supporting yourself, if you're a leader as well, is to provide support to your employees. So some of you may have an employee assistance program, for example. I would say, coaching is a great solution. So in fact, I have a lot of individuals within companies I'm coaching right now, executive coaching, even frontline employees, not just executives, but many companies who are progressive about it, proactive, I should say, are actually, hiring coaches to provide that, support during these times to help employees and help leaders become focused, help them be grounded, and reprioritize and make better decisions and all of those things. It's really an amazing benefit. And strategically, think about it. It could be a very great strategy for attracting potential talent and retaining talent that otherwise might leave, right? So by providing support in the form of coaching or in the form of an EAP program or in the form of maybe, what many organizations are doing, that like maybe virtual happy hours or just mixing things up, finding ways to just engage people beyond just the work itself. So those are some highlights from this article here, and I invite you to share some of your own tips as well. And with that, I will be back on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. I'm going to be talking about strategic planning. It's part of my high-performing leader series of live streams. So right here, Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live, I will be talking about strategic planning as part of the Leading Change series of broadcasts that I'm doing. This will be the 3rd installment of 5, and I invite you to join me on that. Otherwise, join me next Friday. And thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Be well.